Test. Okay. Hello, everyone. Yes, I got some new equipment. I don't know if you can tell, but I got a new camera that's really fancy-dancy. And I also got a new microphone. Oh! And a light. Let me show you. Ah! Sorry, I don't know if you could even hear that on the mic. Mic is what I call them, like M-I-K-E. Because it's a microphone. I parked under a tree, and it's been raining cats and dogs today. And I really hate the rain. And I guess every time the wind blows, it dispenses water droplets onto the car. It's very scary, So, all right, let me also show you the light I got here. I must say, it's difficult to figure out where to put it in my car, but it does, it gets the job done. So I don't know. We're just sort of trying it out here. It's all about experimentation. It's all about trying new things. So I realized that I never actually told the story about what happened with the shooting video. If you're not familiar, last month, at the beginning of January, I made a video that was very controversial, that got me into legal trouble, got me into trouble with pretty much everybody I know in real life, humiliated my family, made me the most hated man in the hometown where I grew up. And I hated those fuckers anyway, so I don't really care. But it was tough. It was tough. And for a while, I wasn't really talking about it because I was concerned that I may actually have real life legal problems. It's been long enough that I don't think anything's actually going to happen. I don't think they're actually going to do anything. And if they did, I would get on my knees and I would fucking, because that would be amazing for my career. But because of that, I was sort of holding off on talking about it, and sharing my thoughts and everything. But now, I think it's okay. And let me also, there's an elephant in the room here. That nobody can ever believe a word of anything that I say because I've always made up everything. And I've been thinking a lot about that, I've been thinking about irony as a concept. And I've been kind of wondering, does it really have a place in our society in this day and age, Because it's gotten to the point where in the real world, satire, it's almost impossible to satirize what's been going on, because real life has gotten more and more outrageous, and so I don't know. I just feel like I'm just joking around. Could you imagine if I actually believed that fucking liberal horse shit? No, but there is some seriousness to it because I resent the fact that I feel like no matter what I say, nobody will ever believe it. And I've talked about that a few other times in videos on this channel. It's an interesting sort of psychological predicament because as an artist, it doesn't mean anything to anyone, and certainly not yourself, unless it is grounded in some kind of emotional truth, right? And so the fact that it seems like no matter what I say, no matter how much it resonates with me, everybody just says, "Oh, well, this is Dan Hitchell, and he makes up everything, so we should." So that he actually means the opposite of what he says, and everything that he says should be completely discarded, as fake. It upsets me, and so this is sort of just. You can believe it or not. You can believe whatever amount of it you want, but I will assure you, certainly everything I say in this video today is true. Most of the things that I say are somewhat true. All of the things that I say are emotionally true. And there's a concept called emotional truth, where what I say is grounded in, I believe it. I genuinely do believe it. That's the only reason why I'm able to do it and why it works. Even though, maybe I didn't throw my cat in the garbage disposal, or I didn't come on my grandfather's face, or whatever I say in the videos that's completely outrageous and nonsensical. There is an emotional truth to it. Now, what that means, I have no idea, and what that means for you, I don't know. I never chose to be labeled as a satirist. I think that's a terrible, stupid word that I hate. It doesn't make any sense. And it sucks. It means nothing. It has been completely stripped of all meaning. Same thing with the word, I forgot what it was. The other word. But basically what I'm trying to get at here is that, I never really wanted to be a comedian or a satirist or whatever the hell you want to call me, or a regular, whatever word you have for it, I reject it. Keep it away from me. Because all I do is I say things that I believe, that are real to me. I put them out into the world, and they decide what is done with them after the fact. So, I have a Wikipedia page. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's very interesting seeing the way that I'm sort of described from a third person perspective, an objective truth, Wikipedia. Because I was reading and I was like, well, what? I don't believe any of this. This isn't what I think. This isn't what I am, but I have no control over that. All I have control over is what I vomit out into the world, right? And so that is my way of sort of assuring you that everything I'm about to say in this video is true. It is. So, Christmas Day, I filmed a video at my old high school. There was nobody there. I didn't see any no trespassing signs. I walked right... Zip. Well, I don't know how much I can say. And you know what? Also, I talked to a lawyer, and he said the fact that you feel like you can't talk about this, and the fact that you can't feel like you can't express yourself on social media means that your free speech rights have been violated. And that is, in and of itself, my feeling like I cannot express myself with whatever the hell I want to say, means that my free speech rights have been violated by the police. So I'm going to say whatever the hell I want. If it sends me to jail, fine. That would be the dumbest thing that ever happened in the history of the world. But if that happens, fine. I would be willing to go to jail for my silly little stupid videos. Yeah, I would. Yes. And a lot of people talked to me about this after the fact, and they said, could you imagine going to jail for a bit that's not even funny? And I was like, yeah, I could. Yes, I would go to jail for anything I make. And you, if you don't believe that, and you are an artist, you're a fucking hack. Sorry, but it's true. It's true. So, complete and total self-sacrifice. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. And if you're not willing to do that, then go work at Walmart. Anyway, on Christmas Day, I went to my old high school. I didn't climb any fences. I didn't break in. Certainly not. I waltzed in. Because there's a public park right next to it, so how am I supposed to know where the boundary ends between the public park and whatever they consider the campus is? Walked right in, and I a lot of times if you've got to do things in sort of a guerrilla style, And that doesn't mean ooga booga gorilla. It means Guerilla. Guerrilla. Like guerrilla warfare. You go in, you get the shot, and you leave. So that's what I did. There was nobody there. And the premise of the video, you know, the way that I work is I find it while I'm there. So I just sort of shot a bunch of, poor choice of words. I filmed a bunch of stuff. Filmed a bunch of stuff around, you know, me doing stuff. And then I said, all right, I'll sit on that for a while. And then when I get back to LA, I'll put it all together. So I forgot about it for about a week. And then I came back to LA and I took a look at the footage that I had filmed. And that's why I would say, if you haven't seen the video, I would really encourage you to watch it. One, you know, to get the views up, right? But also because I want you to see that I chose to do what I did very deliberately. Every single frame in that video was very deliberate. Every single thing that I said, every single choice that I made, I very, very carefully considered. It was not a situation where I was saying, "Oh, I'm going to be edgy and the joke about being a school shooter because I want to be edgy and I want everybody to go like, oh, I mean, it's a little bit of that, but mostly it's because I think that it would be interesting. I don't know what that means, but that's the feeling that I follow. So I was cutting it together, doing my little sashimi, and I really sort of struggled with how exactly the narration should be, what should the tone be, all that stuff. And, that was very interesting after the fact because a lot of people did not find it funny, or they said, I didn't laugh at this. This isn't funny to me. I don't understand the joke, and I was so confused by that because at no point during that video did I ever make any indication from an authorial, is that a word? Authorial perspective that signaled I am trying to be funny. So I was kind of scratching my head. I was like, well, why were they expecting that? Why were they expecting that at the end I was going to be like, oh, and aren't you glad I didn't say banana? Because it is a very serious subject. And so I was treating it very seriously. There's funny things in it. There's a funny shot where I chase the geese around and they go, but it was not, I guess, supposed to be funny. And I know that that's a very classic, guy who just got called not funny thing to say, but it is true. So then I thought about that more and I was like, why did that happen? Why was there such a disconnect between my expectations and the audience's expectations? And, I thought about that for a long time. And I realized I really have no control over that. Like I was talking about earlier in the video. I have no idea when I put something out there how it's going to be received. I have a reputation of being a comedian, but I don't necessarily always adhere to, the expectations of the audience, and I don't think you should. I saw a very interesting, somebody in my replies, I got a reply that was like, oh, I don't want you to do this, I want you to do this other thing, and somebody replied with a picture of words that said, crap, I forgot it. Hang on, it'll come back. Oh, if I had asked my customers what they wanted, they would have said a faster car. They would have said so the person who said the quote was Henry Ford, who was the inventor of the car. And he said, if I had asked my customers what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. Think about that. It's very true. Because no offense to all of you, but you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you did, you would be me. And you would be doing what I did. But you don't. So, I don't really care about the suggestions of everybody in the chat, you know. And I know that that's probably confusing for a lot of people because you are so used to everything in entertainment and culture catering to your whims. You are so used to getting exactly what you want. You're so used to, you know, saying, I think they should change the design of Sonic the Hedgehog in the movie. And they do it. Because they want your money. So they're going to suck your cock. I don't care about your money. I mean, it's nice, but I don't care about it. So what I care about is doing something that has never been done before. So, in order to do that, you have to be willing, when everybody is telling you, this is a bad idea, don't do this, this is stupid, this isn't working. No. Even the people you care about the most in your life, you have to be willing to say, all right, I hear ya, but I don't give a shit. And go with what you were going to do. Go forward. Because the only way that you are ever going to do something that has never been done before is if you are willing to do it. Oh, this is pretty inspirational. This is pretty good. This is a good one. This better get a lot of views. Okay, back to the facts. I cut up the video, you know, and I was very happy with it. And I said, oh, mwah, this is great. And I really don't feel that way very often. A lot of the times, you know, I'm like, well, all right, I guess I'll just put this, I don't know, you know. But this time I was like, oh yeah, there isn't a single thing about this that I would change or that I'm even less than 100% confident about. So I put it up. First night was uneventful. You know, it was fine. And I sort of wanted to blow my brains out because I was like, well, all right, you know, another day. Being an internet creator is terrible because every day, no matter what you do, no matter how successful it is, no matter how viral it goes, it will disappear. After enough time, poof, it's gone. Completely vanishes into thin air. And you have to start all over again. And you have to prove yourself all over again. So that can get, after a while, you know, that can get a little demoralizing. Because you start to think, why do I bother? You know, what's the point of doing this if it's just gonna be square one every time again? And I don't know the answer, you know. But I just keep doing it. And I just keep trying to, you know, it was interesting at the beginning because when I was doing all those, you know, everybody always loved the gaslighting therapist bullshit. And at that point, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to become, if I make enough of these, they'll buy a show. Netflix will buy a unscripted show that's where I get to give funny relationship advice to people or whatever the hell it is. Didn't happen because the entertainment industry went completely in the shitter and is now a corpse on the side of Hollywood Boulevard. There is no entertainment industry anymore. So then I was like, all right, I mean, I guess now I have to do this. So, all right, I got a little lost. Excuse me. I'm trying to remember where I was in the story of what happened. All right. This was Friday night, January, whatever the hell it was. 4th or 5th. The next day, I wake up And I say, okay, well, another day, here we go. And I went in my car and I filmed a video that I did not end up posting here for reasons that will become clear. Hey, that rhymed. Dr. Seuss ass. Get out of here with your Dr. Seuss ass. That could be a tweet, maybe. Oh, so I put my phone on Do Not Disturb when I film a video because I need to focus. So after I filmed the video, it was called My Wife. Seeing my wife in labor gave me the ick. Pretty funny, huh? It's on my Patreon. It's a $5 exclusive if you want to watch it. There's a lot of other videos on there, you know. Sorry, I know I gotta pay the bills, right? So I finished that video, you know, it's fine. Went back home, turned my phone off of Do Not Disturb, and I saw that I frantically had a bunch of missed calls. Called back the person who called me. And the police had, in Maryland, paid a visit to a relative of mine. I think it was quite a lot of police cars. It was 7 or however many. And they said that it was because of the video. So I sort of, you know, that was a very surreal moment for me because it didn't happen to me. I had kind of hoped that it would happen to me if anything was going to happen, because I'm not stupid. You know, when I was making the video, I said, I'm really putting my dick in a hornet's nest here. So I need to prepare myself if I end up getting stung by hornets on my dick. And I was ready for that, but if anything, I thought the police would just come to where I live, right? But the LA police don't care about anything. This is basically a town without cops, and I think that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. You know, but so a lot of times I'm like, oh, they're not going to care. I forget that in Bel Air, Maryland, that is not how they feel. They have sorry, but they have nothing else to do, clearly. So they will waste resources to you know, investigate a YouTuber. Even though, and if you watch the video like I instructed, then you will know that there was nothing in it that is illegal. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All of it falls under my protected free speech rights. So, all of this that's happening, you know, the police coming to the house, and my relative said, okay, we'll give them, they gave them my phone number, and they said, you should expect a call from the police at some point. And so I was like, okay. And I waited very anxiously for a few hours, and nobody called me. It was a Saturday. So I sort of, from my end, I thought, well, you know, they're probably just, of course they're going to say like, oh, we're going to press charges and all this stuff, but what can they really do? And I remember saying that, you know, on the phone at the beginning, you know. I mean, like I said, there's nothing illegal in the video, so I was like, well, okay. I mean, they can. I mean, I guess if they really want to do something, then they can make something up. I mean, you know, but in theory, I don't see what they actually could do in our legal system based on what is the facts. So So the rest of the day kind of went on, and I thought, okay, maybe that's the end of it. Maybe they just did their due diligence, realized that it wasn't a real threat, and they're going to leave it alone. So the next day, I was completely over it. And I was moving on with my life. All of a sudden, this was Sunday. All of a sudden, I get a call from a number that I don't recognize that is in it has a 410 area code, which is the Harford County, Maryland, where I live, or where I'm from. And it said public service as the little thing at the bottom on the caller ID. And my heart kind of dropped because I just had a gut feeling, this is going to be a bad phone call. Pick up the phone. And what I said, I dramatized in my recent Dan the Movie. What did I call it on YouTube? My first true video. I'll tell you exactly what happened as a transcript. Pick up the phone. Hello? Guy on the other end says, "Hi, is this Dan Henschel?" I say, "Yes." He says, "Howdy." I don't know if he actually said howdy. I think he said something like that, Maryland is kind of the South, it's kind of not, but guys there sort of have a, affectation. So he said, "How you doing this morning?" And I said, "I'm good, how are you?" And he said, "I'm doing all right." With that sort of, his voice went up high at the beginning and then went down like that. And he said, "You probably know why I'm calling, right?" And he identified himself as being from the Harford County Sheriff's Department. So I know that you are never, ever supposed to say a single word to the police. The most important thing, if the police try to talk to you, especially if you, all right, I'm not going to go that far. If the police try to talk to you about anything, do not say a single fucking thing. You immediately say, "I'm sorry, I don't want to talk to you, I'm going to get a lawyer." Which is exactly what I did. And I think that saved my ass. I really do. Because the only other thing that he said was, forgot what I was talking about. The only other thing that he said, I started talking again as if I would remember. I was hoping that I would remember if I said the sentence again. Oh, he said, "Well, we got a criminal charge for you." Then I said, "All right, I don't want to continue this conversation before I have a lawyer. I'm going to talk to a lawyer. Thanks. Bye." So then I said, "I am fucked." Because the police know that you're intimidated by them because they have the power to ruin your life and they have the power to ruin the lives of everybody you love. They know that, and that they wield that power very, very purposefully. And you can say like, "Oh well, my dad's a cop and he's a blah 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 blah," but it's the same thing with people who are manipulative in relationships or narcissists or whatever it is. Of course, nobody knows that they're manipulative. Nobody knows that they're an abuser. Nobody says, "Oh, I am going to continue abusing this person and blah, 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 blah." They are doing what they think is right. They are doing what to them, because it's from their perspective, they're doing what they think is a good idea. And what they think is morally right. Fucking record or not! All right, sorry. Okay. Sorry, I apologize. The camera overheated and also the microphone didn't work. All right. I posted on my close friend's story and I said, "Hello everyone. I am dead serious with what I'm about to say. My hometown is going to try to press charges regarding the shooting video. And I need help. I need a lawyer." And several people were very nice to me and they, put me in touch with people and blah, 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 blah. And so I started following some of those leads because I wasn't sure. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to try to extradite me. I don't know if they're going to, if the LA police, for all I knew, the police were on their way to my house about to arrest me. So I was frantically trying to do boop, 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 try to figure out some lawyer situation because I'm a very lucky guy. I have the resources to be equipped to deal with something like this. It's absolutely sickening to think about people who are in a situation like this who do not have those resources and who are just, because the only reason I was scared and the only reason that the only thing that made me feel better was the fact that I was like, well, I know enough about this stuff to know logically, I don't think anything could really turn out that badly. Because I am I don't know. Basically what I'm trying to say is that, the fact that they are able to do that to people, they have unilateral authority to do that to people, is sickening. Anyway. I was trying to figure out lawyer stuff. Then, the Facebook post happened. I didn't see it myself until somebody that I went to high school with messaged me. And they said, did you see this? It was a screenshot of a Facebook post the Bel Air Police Department made that said, well, you can go back on my social media and look at it if you want. You can look at the full thing. Basically, it was publicly identifying me. It said Dan Henschel, 28, student of this, blah, 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 blah. So all my bullshit is out there now. They, again, remember, they are very, 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 very good at phrasing things in a way that makes them sound like you are totally fucked. So the phrasing that they used on the Facebook post made it sound like this was now a national manhunt. Because they said at the end, I don't remember exactly what they said, but you can look at it and so I don't blame people for thinking, I don't blame people for seeing that, because I posted it. I said the best thing that I can do right now is use my audience to protect me. So I have to get this out public facing. So that's why I posted it. I said, hello, I need a lawyer. And I was like, well, this is going to be a boy who cried wolf situation, but all I can hope is that people check, to see the page and they see that it's real, because there's no possible way that I could have faked a Facebook page for an actual city that has been going for 11 years. So I posted it. And the rest of that day was really an out-of-body experience. Because I don't blame people for seeing that post and thinking that I was going to go to prison. Because they did that intentionally. They always do that intentionally. They always make it sound and feel like it's worse than it is. Because that's where their power comes from. In reality, rationally, they didn't say anything that led to any indication that even a crime had been committed. or that they had any evidence that a crime had been committed, or that anything had been done that was illegal. But it felt that way. And that's something that I have learned throughout my career as well. If it feels, all it has to do is feel it like it. Does that make sense? So, I was panicking as well. And I was trying to think, what's the best thing for me to do here? You know, blah, 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 blah. Also, simultaneously, as scary as that day was, as much as I thought I might actually be fucked, I might actually go to prison, I might actually have to go to trial, everybody that I know and love may never, ever, ever talk to me again. But I still don't regret it even 1%. I can honestly say I still don't regret it. Even if tomorrow I went to jail, I wouldn't regret it. Because like I said at the beginning, you have to be willing. You have to be willing. Total self-sacrifice. You've got to be willing to go there. You've got to be willing to do that. If you're serious about it, you have got to be willing to leave it all behind. You know? So, eventually I got in touch with a lawyer who was very helpful. Because I sent him the video. And he said, he laughed on the phone. Because he said, look, I understand why you would be scared. It's scary when the police talk to you. But there's nothing here. Nothing. And then I said, okay. All right. Nothing there. So then the rest of the rest of my problems then were personal, you know. But I can deal with that. Fine. Personal problems I can deal with. Because this is my real name. Dan Henschel's my real name. You all know that now. There's no hiding any of this now. It's all out there. It's all out there. Who I am, the high school I fucking went to, you know, where I lived. So, you know, maybe I should have come up with an alias, you know, Danny Ding Dong. But what good would that have done? Because this is the internet. Eventually somebody's just going to find my real name anyway. And, you know, the more famous I get, the more successful I get, the more it starts to affect the people around me in my real life. Because of what I've chosen to do as a career, which is so thoroughly a blending of reality and not reality. So, I don't know. But the situation raised a lot of difficult questions. Questions that I'm confident in my answers for, but it's still difficult. So anyway. I didn't go to prison. It's very doubtful I will go to prison. I mean, anything could happen. You know, an alien spaceship could crash land in the middle of my house tomorrow and abduct me and take me to Venus. I could go to jail. I could go on trial. But, you know, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if any of you have ever seen, there is an art piece that is a banana duct taped to a wall. And sometimes it goes viral because, you know, it's in the news. Oh, the banana taped to the wall with duct tape sold for $3 million at auction or whatever the hell it is. And everybody's like, oh, of course, oh, this is stupid, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying it's not stupid, but what most people don't understand about that is that the art piece is not the banana and the duct tape physically on the wall. That is thrown out at the end of every day, and they replace it. The piece is the intellectual space around the banana and the duct tape. What you bring to it with your mind. Perceiving it completes the circuit. And that is the piece. See this? My hands are doing this. Imagine I'm looking at the banana and the duct tape, and this is the orb of perception. That right there is what it is. Not the banana. The banana is part of the orb of perception, but it's not that's not it completely. So, there you have it. The true story of what happened at the beginning of this month with the Pew Pew video. Believe it or not, I don't give a shit. I'm so past that. I'm so past worried about, are people going to believe this? Are people going to fall for this? Is this embarrassing? Is this blah, 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 blah? I'm over it. Because I've gone too far now. I can't go back now. I can't all of a sudden start. I can't go back. All right. Goodbye.